What is going on, boys and girls, men and female? Tonight, I'm your host, Jack Dordan. I'm gonna foreplay. We're not having graphics tonight because I can't control that. But Ash, how are we doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Zeppelin, how are we doing tonight?
Well, I think I was good until about 2 hours ago. Had some plumbing issues in the old home, so stuff breaks. Doing okay. Eagles got the 1 seed. We get to watch basically carefree football this weekend. Not much to complain about on that end.
And Tommy, how are we feeling?
We're doing great.
It's
busy.
Damn, you really sold the people on that one, Tom.
It's a busy season. I just got home about an hour ago, so I worked about 11 or 12 hours today.
Yeah, join the club, buddy.
I know.
Yeah, guys.
But I'm going to do it 6 days a week instead of just 4, Josh.
Viewers, I apologize on YouTube. We are not having graphics tonight. I'm just letting you forewarning. We're not doing
I'm not apologizing. You get to see our smiling
beautiful faces. You guys, will listen to us on whatchamacallit, on a Spotify. So
yeah.
Let's do Jack Collins.
Yeah, this is Jack Collins. What do you mean? Isn't that it?
Let's do it. Sean, what is up, my guy?
Hold on, you have to do the sponsor, Jack. At least.
I don't know how to do that, bro.
Listen, this is sponsored by El Diablo. Fucking burrito.
Jack's Daily Collins. We are sponsored by El Diablo Burritos. If you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless, go Birds.
Their burritos are better than what Jack just did. I promise.
I ate an El Diablo burrito the other day, and I may or may not have been a little tipsy, but my God in heaven, it got me to where I needed to be.
Is it better than Moe's and Chipotle or whatever?
Don't even mention their names. Don't even mention their names in the same sentence. It's not even comparable.
The prices are better. The food quality is better. The service is better. Everything about it is better.
The burritos are filled with love at El Diablo. Like, you're eating love, but like not like a bad way eating love, like a good way eating love.
Good. Sean, what we got for today for us? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just chilling. Just got this jersey from the last game. Had to cop it. It was a little expensive, but I had to do it.
That's good. What do you got for us tonight?
So I just wanted to talk about going into this playoff game. We have obviously the first round bye, but with all the other games being said, my picks are going to be. So it's Seattle versus Frisco. That game is a little bit risky because, it's supposed to rain the whole time in San Fran. So I think that's going to affect San Fran a little bit. And the ultimate question is when is Brock Purdy going to fold under pressure? Because he's obviously – you could stick anybody on that team and they'll succeed the way that he's doing. Because he's never had any playing time, and I feel like that's the thing. But their defense is very, very, very good. With that going in to that, I feel like the 49ers will come out on top with that game. And then with the New York Giants and the Vikings game, I believe the Giants will win that game. And, the Vikings are just – I feel like they're frauds. They're just not that good of a team. I don't care if they have Justin Jefferson. And Kirk Cousins, I don't know his status, but he was hurt in his last game. But overall being said, I feel like the Giants will come out on top of that game. And then big upset, not just because I'm an Eagles fan, but I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, yeah. So to answer the question, I'll go first. I think the 49ers will last maybe the first round and then lose second round. Like you said, Brock Purdy, he hasn't had this much pressure. Yes, he picked up the last 5 weeks. Been playing well, but I think when it matters during time, he's gonna fold under pressure. I think, like I said, first week he's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about the Giants at all. I would like to see them the second week, but we'll see what happens with that. The Buccaneers, I think they can definitely beat the Cowboys because Tom Brady's playoff Tom. So I think that who will see, I'm not sure. I think Giant. I don't know. I'm not sure we're going to see, but I don't think the 49ers are it. I think they're going to last one round and then fold. Zeppy?
I think. Oh, sorry.
Are you serious, Tom?
I'm sorry, Zep.
Man, you must be delirious, my boy.
I am.
Yeah. Oh my God, who's fire alarm? What's
I
happening?
know who.
Somebody
Who?
go get the oven.
Who?
So
I haven't turned mine off of vibrate since 2014. Damn it!
I don't want to hear about your vibrations, Tom.
I always have my phone on vibrate, bro.
So the Bucks and Cowboys are going to be close. I actually don't know who's going to win that game. I think the Bucks will pull it off, but I totally see the Cowboys winning. I think the 49ers are going to kill the Seahawks. I think it doesn't matter how bad or how good Brock Purdy plays. It doesn't really matter. They have a great defense, and they have Christian McCaffrey. The Giants are beating the Vikings, and the Eagles are playing the Giants in the divisional round. I don't have much in my life to bet on, but if I would put my life savings on that, I would say that is what's going to
Didn't
happen.
you just spend your life savings?
Let's pipe down there, Tom. I did, but it was on El Diablo burrito. Just kidding. You don't need to spend your life savings because they're so cheap and made with love.
Exactly.
Ash, Tom. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the NFC games. The one game that I would say I'm kind of torn on of like which way it's going to go would be the Dallas Tampa game. The one thing that I think, other than it being Tom Brady and being playoff Tom, there is definitely an advantage if they were playing in Dallas. However, they are playing in Tampa. I've actually performed in that stadium, and I will say, like, I've really heard that now that Tom Brady is there, they definitely have a pretty good home crowd going compared to if they're playing in Dallas. The Dallas crowds are known for being pretty passionate fans as well. Yeah, so that would be the game that I would say I think could go either way this weekend. But I really definitely think the 49ers are going to beat the crap out of the Seahawks this week for sure. It's kind of a great week because we get to just kind of watch it all back and enjoy it instead of stressing for the Eagles. So it's kind of nice to have this one week that we can kind of hang and chill before next week.
I agree. Tommy boy.
First off, whoever has that ringer on, please turn it off.
Who is it? It's definitely Dorton. He doesn't know what he's doing. He definitely hit a button on Dalton's command center.
Oh, it's Dalton's laptop's blown
It's
up.
not me. I promise. My ringer's off.
Now we'll get to you, Sean.
We'll get to you.
You be patient.
So just looking at the NFC playoffs, I think the Eagles are going to definitely be playing the Buccaneers next week. Dak Prescott won. He doesn't even have to play in front of a raucous away crowd. No, he blew it against the Jaguars. The Jags.
I like how you added an I.
That's Dougie P. That's Dougie P.
That is Dougie P. But Dougie P, let's not talk about his record when he was with the Eagles against the Cowboys. It wasn't great.
I think his record was 1 Super Bowl to 0 Super Bowls.
That is true. He does have 1 Super Bowl to their none. So they're playing the Bucks, the Bucks would be a 4 seed, aren't they? Never mind. Yeah, we are gonna play.
We're gonna play the winner of the Dallas.
Tom, we could play the Bucks.
Dallas.
That's how that works. It could be 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3. That math lines up.
No, they're not because the
Eagles play
Giants
the
are
lowest
winning.
seed.
Okay, so the Giants are winning. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
gonna play the
Look,
Giants.
if the
Giants are winning.
Yeah.
Giants are gonna win. So Giants are gonna win against the Vikings because they're frauds. 49ers, I don't care if it's gonna rain or not. They're gonna demolish the Seahawks. I don't think that game's even gonna be close. It's not even gonna be worth watching. I have other things to do with my Sunday, including missing out on the Dolphins Bills game. Like that's gonna be a blowout too, especially now that they don't have Tua. But sticking to the NFC, so Giants Eagles is gonna be next week. Cowboys are gonna fold worse than a cheap suit. And who else plays this weekend? Oh, yeah. And Niners are going to blow out the Seahawks.
Great job, Tom.
You're welcome, Zep. Thank you.
Sean,
Hey.
I have a question, buddy.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you get a perm recently? It looks good, man.
Nope, it's my natural hair, buddy.
That's all. What shampoo you use?
I use I think it's fructose shampoo and conditioner. That's all I use. And then sometimes, I mean, it just comes out curly out of the shower. But then sometimes I put in this leave-in like conditioner stuff, and it just like makes my hair smell good and keeps the curls tight.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I like to hear.
Sean, you got anything else for us tonight?
Yeah. So going back on that, so say the Vikings do win. The Vikings, if they do beat the Giants, they would go and play the 49ers, and then Dallas would come to us because it's the lowest seed. So the Vikings are the 2 seed. So they would go play the 49ers are 2 seed. Vikings are 3 seed. So they would go play the 49ers and Vikings, and then the Eagles would play Dallas. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm not scared of the Giants or the Cowboys. I think the Eagles would be better off playing the Giants, but I don't really want to play. I mean, it's going to be – I would like to see them play the Bucs too to get their revenge. That's also another option, but I don't think that's possible.
Josh, want to take that?
No. I think Perm Boy said it pretty well. I don't
All
have
things are
anything
possible through the eyes of the Lord.
I don't think I have anything to add to that. I mean, I agree. I think it's good to know, just for people who don't understand how the seating works, aka Tom, we can't play the Vikings or the 49ers next week. We can play them in the wild card, but we can't play them this week. So, I think it's going to be us versus the Giants, and I think it's going to be.
Did you say we can play them in the wild card? 'Cause you don't know how the
Championship
playoffs-
game, but that's okay.
Listen,
Josh doesn't know how playoffs work.
You're an accountant who doesn't know how numbers and seating works.
Anybody
I do know
else?
how numbers and
Yeah,
seating
and
work.
I also want to add something in.
Yes, Sean.
So this is another thing. So Jalen Hurts, his status on his injury, he was just a little sore. I think his arm is doing well. Now with his shoulder soreness, I think he'll be a little bit better in next week's game. But the real question is Lane Johnson, because Lane Johnson, he has that abdominal injury, and they told him that if you don't get surgery, then you're still going to be hurt. It's never going to get better without surgery. So I'm scared that if he does mess it up somewhere in the playoffs and they do make it to the Super Bowl, he won't be playing in the Super Bowl because, I mean, I just feel like if you do anything like slight in the slightest, he'll be that'll tear, and then he'll be out the rest of the season. So
Sean, what I read was that like he's going to need surgery in the offseason,
yeah,
but right now he can't hurt it any worse. It's just going to be like really, really painful.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very painful for him to play on it. They're obviously going to tape him up and give him the right conditioning for him to be healthy going into that game. But I mean, if he gets tackled a certain way or if he moves a certain way, I feel like that could tear, and he's just going to get pulled from the game and then miss out on the whole playoffs. But upside, I think Josh Sweat will be coming back this week to play in this game. He's a big factor on the defense. And then, the whole defense has been balling out. Avonte Maddox, I do not know his status. I want him back, but if he can't play, then you got to trust in Darius Slay. He plays slot, so Avonte Maddox plays slot, but you got to just trust in Marcus Epps, and Reed Blankenship. So, but I mean, overall, I feel like the Eagles are going in healthy going into this game, and to beat the Giants, it's not going to be that hard, in my opinion.
I agree. I think having Lane Johnson playing on next week is huge because we've seen that without him on our line, it's been very detrimental to our offensive line. He's a big asset, and I respect that he's actually getting the balls to play, even though through pain. Same with Jalen Hurts. I think they'll be fine. I think resting that up for this week and being ready to play next week is going to be huge for us, and I'm not too worried about it. Granted, it's going to be sore, but that adrenaline they got, I think he's going to be fine for sure. Well, anyone else got anything?
No, I think you said it beautifully there, Joe.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, Sean, again, thanks for coming on the show. Always welcome back. And let's go Birds.
Let's go Birds.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Sean.
See ya.
All righty, Tom.
Yes.
We got we got something for you, buddy.
Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Ginger Stitch.
So, Tom, tell me what is going on with the Phillies right now. I know we just had a big pickup. I'm excited to see what happens. Gregory Soto is a huge pickup. Explain to me more about the trade we had the past 2 weeks.
So the big trade they had this past week was, as you said, Gregory Soto. Oh, they got him. He's kind of their fireball left-handed reliever. What he does essentially is the same thing Jose Alvarado does, is who we already know and love. So we're essentially now getting 98% of the left-handed throwers that can consistently throw over 100 miles per hour. So they account for 98% of those fastballs that were over 100 miles an hour last year coming out of the bullpen in the whole MLB. So, needless to say, the Phillies brought in some firepower. They saw how close they got with the World Series, saw where their weaknesses were, kind of like how the Eagles were. And Uncle Davey, Uncle Davey, he went out and had himself an off season, and he bolstered the bullpen. He bolstered our starting rotation, and he got rid of Kyle Gibson. Thank God. So, but this was a huge pickup. It hurts a little that they had to give up Matt Vierling and Nick Maton to do this trade. But
is it though? Because I feel like Vierling didn't really do too much last year.
Like, he wasn't like a stud or anything. He's essentially the same as having Brandon Marsh, and Brandon Marsh can be more of an everyday player than Matt Vierling could, is what it was starting to look like. Mm-hmm. However, you're still gonna miss his bat in the lineup, like coming off the bench every now and again. So that's just what I think. And Nick Maton, you're gonna have injuries throughout this season. He was a good guy to have who could pretty much play anywhere. So he's a great utility guy. So it's going to hurt at not having that bat off the bench.
Right. What other pickups did we have within the last 2 weeks?
We had Strom he came from the Red Sox. He's another big arm that we'll use in our bullpen this year. The Red Sox had a down season last year, but he was like one of the few bright spots that they had coming out of it. But his contract was up, and he said, "I'm getting the hell out of Beantown." So he came here, and then those are really our big signings. And we got and we got that one guy from the Mets. I can't remember his name. It's not even worth remembering until we see him in a Phillies jersey anyway. And
do you think these are the finishing touches that the Phillies need to have a good season? A better season than last year. Even though, granted, we made it to the World Series, but you feel more confident about this team that we have right now than last year?
Yes, 100%. So they still have all the same bats that they had last year. So we know scoring runs won't be an issue. Where they really improved was in their starting rotation. So they no longer have to rely on Bailey Falter all the time. They don't have to rely on Zach Eflin, who got hurt by May every year. So then you had to make a long reliever into a starter. You don't have Kyle Gibson anymore. We don't have guys like Matt Moore or Vinny Velo coming and pitching in your starting rotation. You have a solid rotation of Wheeler, Nola, Ranger. The guy we signed from the Mets that I'm drawing a blank on his name at the moment. And your five is going to be some young stud that we have in the minors, whether it be Griff or it's Painter or one of the other guys that we have in our minor league system right now. So you have 5 legit arms coming at you every day. Then you have a whole back end of the bullpen with Sir Anthony, Alvarado, Soto, Strom. Like, you have arms now. So you can shut down the opposing team, plus you have guys that can hit. And we already saw the whole fielding thing that everybody was talking about, mostly Mets fans going on to MLB Network and talking trash. Because I get it. ESPN, they have to pander to New York because I know they're a little bit crybaby-ish. It's fine. And we know how Seggs is, as we've seen him on this show.
Yeah.
But hey, they have to pander to them. But we saw the fielding really wasn't an issue like everyone had talked about. We saw some spectacular diving plays. If anything, we saw miscues by the Braves, who were supposed to have stellar defense. We got an inside the park home run in the playoffs. We saw miscues by the Mets that led to 7-run games against the Padres, who were supposed to have stellar defense. The Padres were losing balls in the sun, but whose defense held up? The Phillies. So the Phillies are going to keep strong at both offense and defense. And defense even improved with the Trey Turner signing this offseason too.
Right.
So and you lost Gene Segura, but you got a more consistent bat in Trey Turner. So
yeah, I think they're going to look good this year. I'm excited to see what happens. Josh or Ash, you have anything else to say about the Phils?
No, not really. I'm really excited about the Trey Turner signing. That was probably the one that I was the most excited about and the most vested in. So hopeful that works out in the end for us.
Perfect.
Joshy?
I
Josh.
feel like I just took a college crash course on the Phillies. That was very long and in depth, Tom. You're a knowledgeable guy.
Okay, moving on.
I think that's Josh's sign, the international sign to move on.
Yeah, moving on.
That was just long.
Rolling. So Sean brought it up. Who are we rooting for in the first round of the playoffs? To play us.
I don't want to say what I want to say because it's kind of mean. We're rooting for the refs and we're rooting for the NFL. If we could get if every game could go to overtime and every team got really tired, not injured, because I won't say that, but you know what I mean, like fatigue,
worn out.
That'd be good. But
they lost their stamina, so then they can't keep up at our pace.
Yeah, I think we want to play the Bucks over the Cowboys. I mean, I know everybody's like, "Oh, we want Dallas." I think we want the Bucks over the Cowboys. Vikings Giants, I think, is a toss-up. I think we match up well against either of them. I think probably the Giants, and then Seahawks 49ers. We want the Seahawks to win, but they won't. So
you don't think Geno Smith's going to ball out in the playoffs? I think he will.
No, not at all. I think he's going to pee himself when he gets to the playoffs. To be perfectly honest, I don't think that 49ers defense is phenomenal.
Legit.
And
That's the thing. He could play well, but that 49ers defense is just going to shut him down, in my opinion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not
looking too good.
It's the 49ers game to lose.
I think that 49ers game for the Seahawks is going to be a make or break for Geno Smith to see if he's actually the guy, for the next couple of years to be that behind the center starting quarterback. Because, I mean, granted, I think he's going to win, most improved player because he was on the bench and now he's taking his team to the playoffs, who haven't been in the playoffs for a while now, within the last 5 years. So having him do that is huge.
The Seahawks made the playoffs 2 years ago, homie.
Did they?
Oh, there was Russell Wilson. I forgot about him. But yeah, no. So I think we'll see what happens.
I forgot about Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, let's go Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. Tommy.
Hey, Broncos country. Let's ride.
You are a special child of God there, Jackson.
Personally, I want to play the Bucs again because they ruined our season last year. That was when Jalen Hurts wasn't as good as he is now.
He was also hurt in that game.
That is true, but he's hurt in this game no matter what. Maybe not as hurt as he was, but KJ, what's up, buddy? Miss you, buddy. Miss you, buddy. But yeah, I think it's a redemption for the Bucs to play them again, and see what we can do.
Yeah, I like that. I would like to see them have to play the Bucs for redemption. I guess you can never cheer for the Cowboys, so obviously you gotta cheer for the Bucs. Because F Dallas. Then I guess I would go with, I guess, the Vikings, because I don't cheer for any other divisional team either. So just by default, there's the Vikings. This is how I decide who I cheer for. Like, I really don't give a shit between the Seahawks or the Niners. Like, either one of those teams could win, and I really don't give two shits. Just as a fan, who I'm more afraid of are the Niners. So I guess I'll cheer for the Seahawks. Call it a day. Ultimately, I'm cheering for Bills Mafia because, well, I just want to see more people going through tables each week.
I don't want to play them. That I would feel. I mean, I know we have a long road to the Super Bowl. I would feel bad if I had to play the Bills. Like they're the Bills. I want to see them do well. So
I do too.
I hope we make the Super Bowl. Obviously, I hope they don't make the Super Bowl. Unless if we don't make the Super Bowl, then I hope they make the Super Bowl. But we're gonna make the Super Bowl because we're the chosen ones.
Asher,
that thinking.
Yeah. So honestly, I would rather play the Bucks than the Cowboys. I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, "Wouldn't it be so much fun to beat the Cowboys?" Cowboys just come and they play different against the Eagles. You see that. I feel like Washington plays it very similarly. But I think there's going to be more power behind the Eagles if they're playing Tom Brady simply because of what happened last season. And, I think they may be a little bit more, have a little bit more, trying to think of the right word, momentum behind them to kind of have their revenge game. Between the Giants and the Vikings, honestly, I mean, again, I don't like cheering for divisional opponents either, but I think we would have an easier time beating the Giants simply because we did beat the total crap out of the Vikings during our Super Bowl run. And I think a lot of the I'm sure, there are definitely people that are still bitter about that. So I think it would be a little bit easier if we played the Vikings, or not the Vikings, the Giants. And then really among the 49ers, I kind of with Tom, I think it would be a lot easier it would be better if we play the Seahawks, but I mean, that's just not going to happen. The defense on the 49ers is just too strong.
Yeah, no, I agree. Zep, do you have anything else to put on this or no?
No, that's it. Tom.
Yes.
Is that shirt orange or is it red?
You wore last week?
You wore that last week?
Like your last week or 2 weeks ago. I forget. It all blurs.
It's orange?
Well, moving on.
It's red.
It really brings out your eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Lane's return to the
You
lane.
have a cute smile.
Thank you.
Lane Johnson's return to the lane. Do you think this is going to be a huge asset for us moving forward in the playoffs?
No, I don't think he does anything for the team.
Okay, you're just wrong.
I'm kidding. Yes, he's probably the best right tackle in the NFL right now. I would say he's our third most important player on offense behind Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. So, yeah, I think it's going to be great for the offense. And I just hope he can play and stay healthy. I mean, luckily, I think we talked about it all preseason. We have a very deep offensive line. So, Dickerson, Andre Dillard can come in and they can give you good quality starting snaps, but there is literally no replacing Lane Johnson. And he's an asset. He's
a beast.
Yeah, and I think that man will do anything and everything he can to stay on that field during the playoffs. So I'm not really worried about it at all. And you know what? If he goes out there, he plays, and he gets hurt, shit happens. It'll suck, but I know he's going to give it his all. And if he can't play or if he has to not play, it's something serious. It's definitely serious pain. So, yeah, I think it is massive to have him back on the offensive line.
Let me put it to you this way, Josh. From what I saw these last few weeks without him, you see a significant decrease in a significant decline in that position. Like Jack Driscoll is not a pushover. He's not some scrub of of a backup offensive lineman. I think he's very good. However, he's no Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is above and beyond anybody else at any other position or at his position, I should say. Hey, he's very good. So good, like people compare him already to Hall of Famers, greats, whether or not he will make the Hall of Fame one day. He'll be in Canton, Ohio one day. Hey, he's that good at right tackle. And he hasn't allowed a sack all year, hasn't allowed a sack, I believe, all of last year either. Whereas Jack Driscoll's already allowed 2 in 2 games. So, that being said, you're missing something there. Clearly, you're missing one of the all-time greats, essentially. Like, it cannot be you cannot overestimate him because he is just so good. He's so undervalued on this team. He does so many things well, so many things great consistently, week in, week out. You needed to be the first round bye. If we were playing this weekend, I think we would have been screwed because I don't think he would have been ready. But having this extra week, it gives him a little bit of time to at least get back into shape, get up to speed at least, and try to figure out how to play with this injury.
I agree. And like I said, I've said this 2 weeks ago, like Lane Johnson, like Josh said, he's an asset to this team. And not having him on the line is huge. Jack Driscoll, give him some more years let Lane Johnson train him until he retires. And apparently he says 2024. But having Lane Johnson in this playoff run is huge. Also having Jalen Hurts is huge. So the fact that we have him semi-healthy is going to be we're going to see a huge difference in the line blocking because Jack Driscoll has gotten beat on the line. He's had a lot of penalties holding that Lane Johnson really hasn't had. Let up 2 sacks. Like, this dude is what we need, and he's a big asset to our team for sure.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, and you saw it against the Giants, is that Jalen Hurts isn't really scrambling a lot right now. I think he will in the playoffs when he gets more healthy because he has basically 2 weeks. But so his legs might not be there, and that just means you're going to need a cleaner pocket. And having Lane Johnson back will maybe balance out that scale a little bit. So you lose some of Jalen Hurts' running ability, his mobility, escapability, but you get Lane Johnson back. So I mean, we definitely need him
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Lane Johnson is one of those injuries that I don't really feel like people fully, respected what he did until he was gone. And instantly that absence was noticed. And it's something that I definitely do not think that helped the games in Dallas or the Saints and Cowboys games either, simply because you didn't have Hurts and then you didn't have Lane Johnson. And again, our backup is solid. He is, but he's no Lane Johnson. And I think my biggest thing is, as much as I want him back, I also want him back productive. And if he is not going to be productive, this backup seems to be halfway decent. So I would rather, again, this is saying hopefully that we make it out of the divisional games. But after, I just want to make sure that he's productive too, because otherwise there's no point in putting him there.
Right. No, I agree 100%. Good stuff was said. Moving on. Let's still talking about the Eagles, even though this is not an Eagles player. But what happened to Wentz? Like, what happened with his NFL career? Like, he played so well. Tom, I know he's your boy. I know you love him. He played so well the first couple years in Philly, and then he played decently well for the Colts last year until the last 2 weeks. And then he started out with the Commanders, and then he was benched because he was injured, and he was benched indefinitely. And then he was benched yet again last week and had a third string starting for him. So what does this tell you about Carson Wentz? What do you guys see his outcome for the future of his career?
I think he's going to become a career backup, if anything.
Which is crazy to say because you wouldn't say this 2-3 years ago that he's going to be a career backup.
You're right. I wouldn't have. I thought his last season in Philadelphia was his first really down year. He never was the same after he tore his ACL against the Rams. So fuck the Rams. Fuck you, Segs, for being a Rams fan. Dude, what New Yorker's a Rams fan? But he just never was the same after he tore his ACL. He had all that talent. We all saw it that first year. They just needed to build around him, which they then did, and they got the number 1 overall seed and won the Super Bowl that year. Next season, Foles had to start the first few games of the season. Wentz then came back. He looked great that year, I thought. Foles goes away. It's finally his team to run. It was a shaky year, and then he gets hurt like first drive against the Seahawks, and McCown has to come in. And it's just like that injury prone is always nagging. And then the next year, we sucked. We absolutely sucked with him. He caused all that drama between him, Dougie P, and Howie. He caused some locker room rifts. And then last year, you thought, okay, fresh start in Indianapolis. And then he has the same locker room rifts. He might just be a cancer to a locker room and can't build a team around him. Part of any great team is having a leader that can actually bring people together. And it sounds like he can't do that. And like all of a sudden we've had this quick turnaround with Jalen Hurts. Why? Everyone in that locker room loves Hurts and trusts in Hurts. I don't think anyone truly trusts or believes in Wentz.
Well, to your point, I think, like you said, I think Jalen Hurts has a better locker room presence and that leadership that Carson Wentz never really had. Maybe he had for his first year, second year in Philly. But Jalen Hurts is the guy that motivates his players. He was motivating his players in the locker room even when he was injured for the past 2 weeks. So having that kind of personality in the locker room is huge. Like it really brings the team to be one individual team, not individual people.
Jesus H. We're going to have to put a warning on this podcast. Do not listen with headphones.
Yeah, what do you feel?
Well, some people are into that, Tom. That could be ASMR for some people.
What do you feel about Wentz? What do you think has happened?
Who?
Wentz.
Yeah, it's just all mental. I mean, it's not really. People are like, oh, like, it's not anything crazy. He got hurt, saw a backup win the Super Bowl, played well the next season, came back from injury, like played well, like did what he had to do, got hurt again, saw the same backup, wins the playoff games. The city turned on him, and then the next year he took a really, really, really injured, bad football team to the playoffs. And was like, you know what? I got this. This is my team. I proved myself. Boom, we draft somebody else to basically be his backup, but also kind of replace him. If you think about it, I mean, that's what that Jalen Hurts draft pick was. Second round, you're picking a backup. The same time you just gave this man an extension. So, I mean, I get it. Like, he lost all faith in himself. He lost faith in the city, and he figured he had to go out there and ball out every game, put up 500 yards, 4 touchdowns passing every game. You can't do that. As every coach who's an idiot likes to say, there's no, like, 21-yard touchdown pass play call in the play call sheet. Well, Wentz thinks there is. He thinks you can make a play on anything. So it's all mental. I feel bad for the guy. I think he'll be in the league. He probably will at some point become a backup, whether that's like this upcoming season after the 2023 Super Bowl or maybe the next season. But I think eventually he'll get back on his feet. I mean, the dude has all the talent in the world, but it's all mental. It's sad to see because he really is or was a good player, good quarterback. He has all the stuff you can't teach people, but it's on his head. It really sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he makes me sad. I like him a lot. It is something that I definitely struggled with as, we were, in the process of trading him and such. I do kind of agree that as much as he definitely has not been the same after that ACL, there was definitely something that happened with when they drafted Jalen. I think for anybody, that would be pretty brutal for them to draft somebody in the second round when they've just given you a huge contract extension. You know, and I know that there were probably other things going on as well. I was really hopeful for him when he went to Indy, simply because going to that Frank Reich, you know, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson sort of situation. One of my friends who is a Colts fan, he said it's either here or it's nowhere. And that has kind of stuck with me, is it clearly wasn't in it for him in Indy, and then things just have not worked out in Washington either. So I hope for him that he can become a career backup somewhere and at least still remain in the league if that's something that he wants, and to continue all of the incredible charity work that he's been doing, both in Philly, in Indy, and in Washington. But yeah, I definitely don't think he's going to be a starter anywhere probably again.
Yeah. So this, like, last point on this kind of reminds me of Tim Tebow, who had a really good beginning career in the NFL, was a dog in college, and then kind of just went downhill from there and became a preacher. I don't think Carson Wentz can become a preacher, but I think that his season in the NFL is done. He's not a reliable quarterback anymore. I personally don't think. So that's all I got to say. Moving into the same kind of topic as quarterback. So we secured the bag last week, right? Jalen Hurts played. He was 229 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception against the Giants. Against the Giants bench, right? Does that game, even though it helped us with the number 1 seed secure the bag, does that one game ruin his chance at the MVP run? Even though, like, he was injured for 2 weeks, I get it. Pat will win.
I'll take it first here, Jack. I don't think it ruins his chances. I think his chances were already ruined when he was hurt.
Yeah.
And being from Philadelphia, because we've seen how the national media treats guys like Joel Embiid, treats guys like Cutter Hat. So I think he was screwed just for being from Philly.
Yeah.
Because as the saying goes, no one likes us and we don't care.
We do care. Everybody's butthurt about it. The fans of Philadelphia are so insecure, it is laughable.
We just say we don't care because it makes us feel better, Josh.
We care. Listen,
I know we care.
Here's the real deal. You're not wrong. I mean, he's from Philly. He's not winning the MVP. He lost the MVP when he had to go out against the Cowboys. That's, like Tom said, that just is what it is. But even look past Jalen Hurts' play in this last game. He couldn't run. He wasn't allowed to scramble. He had to slide. That's a huge part of his game. People are worried about the defense giving up points to the third stringers, all this. I'm not worried at all. I feel very good about where we are. I think we knew going in, like, all right, we got Jalen Hurts back. Like, we're playing the third string Giants. Like, let's go in and win. And they won. I mean, that's what happened. I'm not concerned about the stats or the score sheet or the third string quarterback putting up points on our defense. I think we did what we had to do. We got the 1 seed. That was the goal of Sunday, win the game. We won. The goal of next Sunday is going to be to win the divisional round, get to the NFC Championship game, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Anyone?
Right?
Yeah, no, I personally, I mean, yeah, granted, when he went down against the Cowboys and was injured, I think that already ruined his chances at winning MVP.
Sucks. But like I said, you don't want him to win the MVP because the MVP winner never wins the Super Bowl, and we're ring chasing.
Yeah, and I mean, it sucks that he's not going to win, but I think he'll come back stronger next year and be able to be in that mindset of I'll be in the MVP candidacy next year. But I think it really did ruin not this game personally. I mean, his career was already, his MVP run was already done after he was out for 2 weeks.
That will put hair in your chest. You know what I'm saying, Tommy? That ring, that little.
I'm gonna be hearing it in my nightmares tonight.
You're not sleeping tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree. I think it was the MVP run for him was over when he got injured. And definitely, I think the Eagles on Sunday definitely came out and just said, we need to just do what we need to do to just get a W at the end of the day. It does not need to be pretty. it doesn't ultimately matter the score. As long as you come out on top, it does not matter if it's a blowout or a close game. So obviously I was kind of hoping that they would come out and just blow them out of the water. But that's obviously not what happened. However, considering, they were basically told to, or, Jalen was told, you cannot screw anything up at this point. You just need to stay healthy. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
He played better than he was pretty darn accurate and things like that. So that gives me a little bit of hope moving on to next weekend. But yeah.
Tommy, anything else?
No, I said my piece.
Okay.
No, you
Well,
didn't.
moving on. Still in the same offensive mindset. Did they disrespect Devonta Smith? Critics were saying that he was too small for his size. He wasn't going to do much in the NFL because of his size. I'll read exactly what I sent in the chat today, the graphic that I pulled up. If I can find it. Yeah, so he's played 2 years, right? 35 of 35 games, or 34 of 34 games, has not played injured at all. 153 career catches and 2,054 yards and 12 TDs. And people were saying he's not going to be much at all. Like, he's not going to be a good receiver at all. Like, the disrespect was real. Do you guys think that he has been disrespected? And you think he deserves it? I don't think so.
People are idiots. I mean, that's really if you anybody who knows anything about football was not disrespecting him. It's all these idiots who just look at the stat sheet. There's no gut. You watch a player play, you say, all right, in your gut, he's a good player. That's who Smitty is. I don't. The man won the Heisman, for Christ's sake, and it really wasn't that close. He was a receiver, so he's not a quarterback. He's a receiver who wins the Heisman. That's a huge deal. Yeah, he's a beast. He's got great hands. He has better hands than AJ Brown. He has better hands than probably 95% of the players in the NFL. That's a fact. He
made some nice catches in that Cowboys game.
Yeah, he's phenomenal at toe drags. My God, you throw man the ball on the sideline, he's coming down with it. So I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because people look.
And he's from Philly.
Yeah, he was disrespected, and you know what? People are going to continue to disrespect him. It is what it is. It's Philly. Tyreek Hill got a horrible draft grade because he was short, and look at him and Jalen Waddle basically took the Dolphins to the playoffs. So I mean, it is what it is. But Smitty's the real deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, like we said, this is the best receiving core we've had
Ever.
We got AJ Brown. We got Smitty. That was not me that time.
Wes Watkins.
That was not me. Quez
Eric
Watkins.
Pascal.
Yeah. So I feel anybody that is going to be a decent athlete in any Philly sport is still going to be disrespected because everyone hates Philly for no reason.
Jack, are you in Dalton's room?
Yeah.
We established this.
You should maybe pee a little bit in the corner before you leave.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, you got to mark your territory.
Yeah. Maybe, let him come back to a little surprise.
Jack, that is your room now.
Yeah, Jack, lock the door.
My territory for sure.
Lock the door, you know what I mean?
Moving on. Favorite part of the night.
Door, maybe. Don't let him come in.
Favorite part of the night. We got my Jack's trivia.
Sleep in his bed.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302.
Okay. Well, again, thanks, Fantasy Football Network, for sponsoring that. Tonight's question we got is, which two Eagles coaches have won Coach of the Year? Which two coaches for the Eagles have won Coach of the Year? We'll give you the answer towards the end of the show.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
The hell, Colin. I tried playing it, and you kind of screwed it up.
Good job, Colin.
No, that's rude.
Ooh.
What else we got to talk about?
Let's just shift the shit for a little bit. How's everybody doing, man? Obviously the Eagles are good.
Yep.
I could be better personally.
It's tax season. Tommy's going through it. I can see it in your eyes. I can see it right in your eyes. Ash, how about you? You chilling? You
Yeah,
vibing?
first real day of classes today. So
Ooh,
Yeah.
holy free, huh?
yeah, honestly though, I'm excited about this semester. So it's good.
Yeah, give it 3 days.
You know what? I'm actually taking classes that have to do with my major, so that's helpful.
That's
Uh,
good.
Yeah, that's what.
It
Are you
does
top
get
bunk
better.
or bottom bunk, Ash?
What?
Are you top bunk or bottom bunk?
I actually live by myself. I just
is that
have
a
a sheet
lock?
on the top bunk so that it doesn't look terrible. Fun fact, my college town is literally only known because our campus used to host the Chicago Bears as their training facility. So the Chicago Bears gave the entire campus Tempur-Pedic mattresses. So
That's
which Chicago Bear player was in your room?
I don't know. That's a good question. I do have people talk about, when they saw Jay Cutler walking around and things like that. But
I love Jay Cutler. You ever seen that show with his ex-wife?
Yep.
What was it called?
What?
Very
Cavalieri.
that show.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Before we shoot this shit, I got one more topic that we can talk about.
There we go.
There we go.
Here, Jack.
We're good.
So, as you guys know, we have a lot of free agents coming after the season, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Notable Miles Sanders, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, Linval Joseph, Marcus Epps. I'll read down who the notable free agents are. Miles Sanders, Sam Malu, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave, Joseph, Sue, Edwards, Kaiser White, James Bradbury, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Marcus Epps. So, as you guys can see, it's pretty much our whole defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, who do we keep and who do we let go? We're gonna have to pay Jalen Hurts for sure, right? So that's where the majority of the money is going to go. Who do you guys feel like we can give up and who we can keep?
I think we keep Gardner-Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know he's been hurt, but he's been a baller and he's versatile. He can play in the safety and he can play in that slot nickel corner type of situation.
And he led the league in interceptions this year.
Yeah, and shit talking. Don't forget about that.
Yes.
Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox are old. They're playing great though. Hargrave is a beast. I think I will say this. I think Howie has done a much better job the past 2 or 3 seasons of kind of looking around and making it less personal, like which players he likes, and looking at what players he needs to keep around.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. Cap space wise, I think we can retain a lot of them for like short, cheap deals, like do like the 1 to 2 year like prove it deals again. Like that might be something you see like TJ Edwards or Kaiser White staying on.
Plus, Howie knows how to work those bonuses. So it essentially the players get the same money without the cap hit.
It really like re-signing free agents is like a fake thing. Like they never get paid the way their contract says they're going to get paid, and it's never like as many years. Like it's always like shorter, and they always like restructure and stuff. So I'm not worried at this point. I don't even know if money's real. I mean, abolish the IRS. Abolish the IRS.
It's a societal construct.
Yeah,
we all
that's
agree to use a certain type of currency. Which currency is made up? All because we live in a society there, Josh. There's your philosophical thought of the day.
I didn't need that, Tom.
We should have a topic: Tommy's deep thoughts.
I have a lot of them. You don't want to go there. There's a lot.
Talks for like 5-10 minutes about diving deep into it. I like it.
I don't know if we want to go that deep in, Tom.
Yeah, I don't think you do either.
Yeah.
So Tommy, who we let walk in?
I think, unfortunately, I love these two, but I think you got to let BG and Cox go this year.
I love to let my Cox go.
So you guys know how my favorite player is Fletcher Cox, right? We know he's getting old. We have Jordan Davis, who is going to be in his shadow, right? I think, Cox has been playing decently well this year. Davis has been playing pretty well. I am confident that if Fletcher Cox were to leave, Jordan Davis could fill that spot in very nicely, right? Brandon Graham, hopefully, maybe he'll give us that hometown. Hopefully, Graham, because I feel like Brandon Graham has played a lot better than Fletcher Cox has. I think if he were to, because I know his family loves Philadelphia, let him get the hometown discount and have him stay for another year. and then let him go after that. Because
Sure.
he was supposed to be a Giant, and he said, no, I don't want to go with the Giants. So I feel like Marcus Epps, he's been proven pretty well, right, Josh? You would agree with me, right?
Marcus Epps has played great this season. I was completely wrong about him. But,
who said that?
I mean, Marcus Epps is like.
But who said
one of
that
the more
he's gonna
replaceable.
prove his worth this year? I think that was me, right?
No, you said he was going to play well. He did play well. I mean, good job. Pat yourself on the back. But he's still one of the most replaceable people in the defense.
Yeah, whatever you say. But I don't know. I think I can let go Kaiser White. I know Sue's going to be going after this. He said he wanted to play for the Eagles because he feels like they can win a Super Bowl this year. Same with Linval Joseph. So they're going to be going after this season, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
Kaiser White, he's been playing some good games. I thought he was going to be a lot more of a outside rush force than he has been. And I don't know why they bring him out in coverage because he can't cover shit at all. And Jerron Hargrave, I feel like we keep him as well. So say Malu, let him go. We have rookies that can fill in for him.
Yeah, the one I think we should let go, I agree with Samalu as well, is Miles Sanders. I think there are so many strong running backs that are coming up in the draft. And honestly, I think the NFL is kind of shifting to where you kind of keep them around for a couple of years and then just let them go. And I think as well as he's done for us, I don't necessarily think that we need him to succeed, if that makes sense. He would be the one that I would I don't want to see Cox or Graham go. However, I think one or both of them are likely to go because obviously we have, I don't want to say more important players because that makes me sound terrible, but more important players that we need to be keeping around. Yeah, that's my opinion on that one.
And follow up, do you think the Eagles will trade up a pick to get a better draft pick in the offseason? And if so, do you think they're going to get another national championship like they got Jordan Davis last year and Nakobe Dean?
I think it depends on how the season ends. So if we win the Super Bowl, no. If we lose in the divisional round and maybe, God forbid, a really important player on like a starter gets injured and it's like, okay, like they tore their Achilles, like they're not going to be back to start next season. So I think it's too early to tell, if you want my honest opinion.
I agree with you, Joshy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're gonna take like a boring position player this draft. I would assume like it's gonna be offensive, defensive linemen, secondary, a lot of defensive players probably. I think our offense is pretty much set. So I don't. Yeah,
Maybe a running back.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a lot of trading back. That's what I think. I think we're gonna trade back a lot and take a good player, but it's nothing flashy, I think we're going to get the Honda Civic that's going to drive for a while. You're not going to have to replace a lot of parts, but we're going to have to pass up the Camaro to get there.
I like that, Zep. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So you're saying we're going to draft, if a decent running back drops down to us, we'll draft a running back.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you can get a lot of decent running backs in third and fourth rounds. So
Yeah.
we don't need like a Saquon Barkley pick at running back, right? Like we're always going to do running back by committee. We have Jalen Hurts to run. So like I said, I think it depends on how the next 3 weeks go. Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
Tommy, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it really is too early to tell. Yeah, where obviously I know I followed some of the bowl games just to kind of see who was, who had already said that they were going up for the draft and things like that. But again, we need to wait and see. We need to wait and see how the season ends up and frankly, what our needs are at that point in time, because that could change a lot in, the next couple months.
I agree.
Tom, what's wrong, buddy? Why are you
Nothing.
looking like that?
You seem stressed.
I'm always stressed.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Jack, if you're not going to pee in Dalton's room, I'm going to walk across the hall and pee in your room and see how that goes.
That would be hot. I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna lie.
know, it would be. I know.
I mean, he did clog our bathroom.
That's fake news.
Yeah. So what was this plumbing issue that?
I don't want to talk about it, one, because it is kind of nasty at this point. The shower, there's standing water in our shower, and I can't snake it or drain it because there's a leak, so it's going to go to the bottom floor basically. So I got to patch some stuff, but I'm just going to hire a plumber to do it. It's just simpler at this point.
Oh, you're hiring a plumber.
The landlord's hiring a plumber, but I'm going to here and explain the situation.
Oh,
Shut up! You couldn't even get the graphics to work, dumbass.
Zep, you try. You try.
I wasn't allowed to.
You could have came over. I never said you couldn't come.
Dalton put you in charge.
I said you could come with me. I don't know why. I can't. I'm sorry.
I knew if I went to Dalton's house, I'd pee in his room. I was protecting the both of us.
So you're not endorsing peeing in his room now?
Dalton's room?
Yeah.
Oh hell no, I'm endorsing. I pee in his room.
Oh, okay.
Not like a mess, just like a little. Yeah, like a little reward for yourself.
So I know this is a Eagles podcast. We can go over. Let's do the trivia real quick, and then we'll have a fun topic.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's see it. Yeah, whip it out.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dorden, the mayor of Delaware.
Yeah. So again, the question was, thank you, Fantasy Football Network, for sponsoring. The question was, which two coaches for the Eagles have won Coach of the Year? Which two coaches have won Coach of the Year for the Eagles?
Well, who were they?
One was
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. What year?
Yep.
What year?
2004.
Wrong.
2005.
Wrong.
2006.
Lower.
2003.
Ash is closer.
2002.
2002. Right.
Jesus.
And
They're
then
such great guessers.
and then the second one.
Dick Vermeil.
Vermeil.
No, that's what I thought. No.
Buddy Ryan.
This was in the 90s.
Buddy Ryan.
No. You probably won't know this. Ray Rhodes in 1995.
Oh, I do know Ray Rhodes.
So those are the only two coaches the Eagles have had who won Coach of the Year, which is huge because Doug Peterson should have won Coach of the Year for sure.
Nick Sirianni should have, but he's not going to.
Yeah, no, it's going to be McDermott or someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
I wouldn't be upset about Dable.
Appreciate you sponsoring that. So the fun topic, and it's not really fun, but we can just like kind of pick and guess. Yeah, this is an Eagles top podcast, but let's talk about the playoff picture. Who we think we're going to win? Who do we want to win in the AFC and the NFC? It's going to be quick. We can run through it and then go from there and then end the call. So we got.
You make this sound like a conference. This isn't a conference call.
We got the Bengals and the Ravens. Who's winning that game?
Bengals.
Bengals.
Even though if
Yes.
No, it doesn't matter. Bengals have it.
Bengals have it? Wow, that was a pretty simultaneous answer. Okay. Then we got the Jaguars and the
Chargers.
Yeah.
I have the Jags.
Dougie P.
I'm rooting for the Jags.
I want my ice cream from Dougie P.
I like that. Listen, Dougie P is the man. I fucking love that man. I get why he had to leave, but God, I love him.
Yeah, I don't know why he shouldn't. He left us.
Give us Jags though. Give us Jags.
Jags. I agree. I agree. The Jags. Jags have been giving us a lot of love this year, beating the Cowboys. And the extra the OT for sure. So now let's go. Is that all the AFC?
No, Bills, Dolphins, but Tua's not playing, so
Bills.
It's not gonna be a close game.
Yeah. Okay. So you think the Bills are gonna take it handedly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, I agree. All right, now moving to the NFC, we got the Vikings and Giants.
Giants.
I think the Vikings will win.
Okay.
I say this because, I mean, the Giants. When have they played in the playoff last? Like
2016.
What? Yeah, so 4 years.
They lost to Green Bay
6 years ago. Yeah, so I don't really trust in them. Even though Saquon has had a killer year this year, Daniel Jones had a great season. And then so we all think the Giants, and I'm thinking Vikings. Okay, moving on. We got the 49ers and Seahawks. I know we already
Niners.
I would agree with that. And then last but not least, Cowboys Bucks.
Bucks.
I hope the Bucks win. I think the Cowboys are going to win though. Unfortunately,
Is this going to be a close game or is it going to be a blowout?
Close, but Bucks win.
Okay, so we would, with your guys' guesses, we'll be playing the Giants.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so you think we can beat the Giants?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it twice.
Who do you think we're going to be playing in the NFC divisional?
The Giants. That would be the next round.
I'm sorry, conference. Sorry.
The 49ers.
49ers, I think we would play in the
Yeah.
championship.
Okay. So, all right, that's interesting, guys. That's all I got for you. I know I suck, but we didn't have graphics. I apologize, viewers out there.
You did great.
A lot of views.
You're doing great, sweetie.
But Zep, I know I'm not there.
I'm peeing in your bedroom as soon as we end this. I know what you're about to say.
Outro, not an intro.
I
Colin.
just said the wrong.
You don't even know how to put the graphics up.